So the cash flow boost is turning into an interesting saga, really. We've had 17 requests come through for assistance over the last 2-3 weeks. And of those 17, 8 of them have been about the PAYG registration date, and I've talked about that before. But basically, what happens there is someone's registered for PAYG after the 12th of March, and the tax office has said you don't qualify, but that's actually not one of the requirements. So for those people, and if you're in that situation, it's just a case of saying, well, look, I do meet all the criteria. Now you tell me why I shouldn't be getting the boost. 2 of them have been about taxable supplies. That is the tax office saying, look, we don't have any proof you were running a business before the 12th of March. And that should also be fairly straightforward to resolve, but that requires the tax office accepting that data. So the difference with PAYG and that, if you've got a taxable supply issue, is that with PAYG, you qualify unless the tax office decides that you don't. Whereas if you're in the taxable supply situation, you don't qualify unless the tax office decides you do. And that's actually quite an important distinction, because in one, you're asking the tax office to do something, and in the other one you're not. 3 of them have been about lodgement issues, annual payers who lodged after the 12th of March but still on time. And that's another interesting one, because in theory you lodged on time, but you're not getting the boost because of the 12th of March date, and that again would require the exercise of discretion on the part of the tax office, similar to the taxable supply situation. But in theory, everybody in these categories should, all other things being equal and everything sort of making sense, generally be okay to get the boost. The rest of the queries have been odd bits and pieces, people who pay themselves erratically or something like that because they run their own business. And those would be based on sort of, the specific situation, I suppose. But it seems to me that most of the people out there who are getting these letters actually probably should be able to qualify in some way or another, if they present what they have to present the right way. And so that's what I'd be suggesting that you do if you're in that particular situation. Anyway, all the best. Hope you can get your boost. And feel free to reach out if you've got any questions.